Hello and welcome to Switch Ski. It's Monday, which means it's time to bring you a new round of eShop sales for the week. This week is banging since a lot of first-party titles, which rarely ever get discounted, are seeing some deep cuts, up to 30% off, which for a first-party title is a lot. If you enjoy the content, drop a like and sub. If you've played any of the games on this list, or are thinking of picking one up that's on sale now, let me know in the comments down below. With that out of the way, let's take a look at this week's deals. If controversy was a game lately, Red Dead Redemption on the Switch is it. It was released at full price, much to the chagrin of gamers everywhere. It felt like a total cash grab to no end. Well, now's your chance to get it at 30% off, which may align more with its actual value considering it's a 13-year-old game. It runs well enough on the Switch and it still boasts some of the best Old West open world gaming you can find. If you have never played this or just want to play it on the go, this is at least a better deal than asking $50 for a bare bones port that adds little while removing stuff like the multiplayer. It does contain the DLC for the game, which is nice, but again, 13 years later with no remastering touch-ups or quality of life additions, it's hard to justify asking full price. The gunplay and story are still just as much of a chef's kiss now as they were back then. At this current discount, now might be the right time to jump on the back of the horse and join John Marston in taking down the gang. Mario Odyssey is a charming addition to the 3D Mario canon. It's bright, colorful, silly, and whimsical. I mean, how many games let you ride a T-Rex with a mustache? Going from world to world, which all look fantastic, looking for every nook and cranny, trying to find all the collectibles, while also still trying to save everyone is pretty standard for a Mario game. But Odyssey's new additions, thanks to the Living Hat, are where it really outshines a lot of the other Mario games. Some argue that it's actually the best 3D Mario since Mario 64. While others dare say it's better than that counterpart. The game is easy where it needs to be and difficult where appropriate. It's just such a well-made game and any Mario fan will enjoy its 12-hour campaign in addition to the additional 50+ hours if you want to complete everything it has to offer. It's currently 33% off at $39.99 until December 3rd, which for a first-party title is a huge deal. Grab this if you haven't already. One of my favorite RPGs of all time, Dragon's Dogma, is getting a massive discount, making it extremely value-friendly for those looking to save a few bucks. Released back in 2012, it was a huge success and fans have been clamoring for a sequel for years. Thankfully, Capcom listened and a sequel is on its way. But if you've never played the original, many would say it's one of the best action RPG games of all time. You control your main character going through several jobs, each with different abilities and playstyles. Many of the battles are not only on a horizontal plane, but also vertical, as you attempt to climb a Cyclops' back trying to get to the juicy eye for stabbing, or hopping on the back of a Chimera attempting to chop off the snake's head. It's fun, dynamic, and just such a great game, and for $5 you can't get much better value for an older title. If you were like me and sat with Asmongold watching the entire Johnny Depp trial, you have a small interest in the Ace Attorney games now. Hearing Camille object to everything the other side had to say just brought a smile to your face at how hilariously shut down the other team was at times. I admittedly garnered an interest in the Ace Attorney games as a result of witnessing that trial, and I found them to be a ridiculous take on trials that are just so great. They are funny and engaging graphic novels, basically with all the charm of a 90s anime. The reason I recommend this trilogy above Chronicles or the other games is that this trilogy encompasses the first games in the actual series, to see where it all came from if you will. If you already have this collection, the Ace Attorney Chronicles are also on a deep sale if you'd rather play those. This specific trilogy that I'm referring to here is 66% off at $9.99 for the next 13 days. One of the more unique games I've ever played, Cris Tales, takes the concept of time travel to a new level. You traverse the overworld with 3 arcs around you showing you the past, present, and future, which lends a lot to its outstanding art style. The combat also plays into the time travel concept, where you can apply a bleed or other debuff status effects, jump into the future, and instead of making it bleed each turn, just skip in time to when it would have bled out and died. Or, if you're fighting an old wizard, wizened by time, just throw it back into the past when the wizard was a novice and not as strong. It's a really cool concept, and although these examples are not exact, the ideals are engraved into this system. It has a combat timing system that can be a bit aggressive at times, and the random encounters occur so often that it might frustrate you, but the puzzle-like combat and art style just makes this game so phenomenal. It's currently 90% off at $3.99 for the next 11 days. One of the biggest RPG hits of the decade, Persona 5, is seeing a huge 50% discount. The only downside to the Switch version, as with most modern ports, are the visual fidelity being downgraded to fit the system. But the fact that this monster of a title runs on the Switch at all is a testament to the ability of the company's ability to get the Switch to run these newer games. Like beating a dead horse, it's obvious to most gamers that Persona 5 is practically a perfect 10 out of 10 to most people. The value, even at full price, is enormous thanks not only to just the overall length of the game, but also the replayability in terms of builds and romances. If you have already played Persona 5 though, you can also look for Persona 4 Golden, which is also on sale at this time. Persona 5 is currently 50% off, $29.99 for the next 13 days. If you love the open ocean, scuba diving, aquariums, or just the concept of being lost at sea, Subnautica is for you. It's regarded by many fans as one of the best survival games of all time, to which I greatly agree, although I am currently really enjoying Sons of the Forest Early Access at the moment. The unbelievable amount of craftables, exploration, and creatures to discover makes the game so worthy of its praise. The only real downside on the Switch port are some texture pop-in and loading times, but it's a small price to play to get your hands on this masterpiece of survival. Subnautica is currently 67% off at $9.89 for the next 13 days. Link's Awakening was my first Zelda game on my Game Boy. Although I had an SNES, my family was much more into Mario and shoot-'em-ups than Zelda. Running around Koholint Island has always been just a fun way to experience Link's adventures, so when Nintendo announced that it was going to give it a remake from top to bottom, many fans rejoiced. When they showed off the almost toy-like art style, the fanbase began to split. In truth though, irregardless of the art style, the game is still one of the best Zelda games of all time. It boasts some of the best puzzles and dungeons in the franchise, and even if your opinion of the art is negative, it is still a truly gorgeous rendition of the world. Seeing as this is a first-party title, it being on discount is rare. Link's Awakening is 30% off at $41.99 for the next 13 days. Burnout Paradise to many was a huge gain to the racing world of gaming back in 2008. The port to the Switch brings the fast-paced, crazy racing to the handheld audience. One of the biggest downsides of the port was the price. It was released on the Switch at $49.99, when it was only $20 on other systems at the time. Now, even though those copies were already out for a couple years and had received a price reduction, they initially started at $39.99 on those systems, which is still $10 less than what we Switch owners got at its launch. This, as you can imagine, got so many Nintendo fans upset at the injustice of equality when it comes to game pricing. Seeing as how the game is now on an 80% sale at $5.99, even I am considering finally grabbing this title. If you enjoy racing, you cannot go wrong here. Lastly, we have Goat Simulator. Look, Goat Simulator is stupid, there's no denying that. But if you enjoy stupidity as comedy, then this game is for you. Making your goat fly across the screen due to some crazy contraption can bring a good laugh when you need one. The game may wear thin after a while, but in small bursts it's an absolute blast. Don't go in expecting the most polished title that you've ever seen, but even a polished turd can shine according to Mythbusters. Goat Simulator being at a deep discount though makes it feel a little bit more appropriate in terms of the jank to fun factor. So if you are at all curious, Goat Simulator is now 70% off at $8.99 for the next 13 days. Well, there you go. Those are my picks for the games you should consider this week when looking for deals on the eShop. If you have any suggestions for us, drop them in the comments down below. I'll be bringing you another eShop Deals List next Monday, so until then, have a great day.